WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Jory Talley. The Webster County Sheriff is being housed in a different location tonight. Sheriff Tim Mitchell has been moved to the Lee County Adult Detention Center. Lee County Sheriff Jim Johnson says his office was asked to house Mitchell by agencies handling his case. Nothing has been changed about his case except his location. Mitchell had been in the Lafayette County Jail since he was arrested for 12 felonies on December 19th. A second person is charged in a late December shooting in Starkville. 26-year-old Christopher Evans is being charged as an accessory. His initial court appearance was yesterday, where his bond was set for $50,000. Evans turned himself into the Starkville Police Department on Thursday. He had a felony warrant out for his arrest and his alleged role in shooting into an apartment complex on Girard Road. This is an ongoing investigation with more possible arrests to be made. In Alabama news, a police officer in Birmingham was killed and another was injured while investigating a car burglary early this morning. Police say two individuals suspected of breaking into cars were confronted by an undercover officer and a uniformed sergeant around 2 a.m. Police say one of the individuals pulled out a gun and began shooting, killing one of the officers and critically injuring the undercover officer. Both suspects were taken into custody. One was also injured in the shooting. The Alabama State Bureau of Investigation will conduct an investigation into the case. Birmingham's mayor had a few words to say about how the city is dealing with this tragedy.
Sergeant Carter is a husband, a father, a son, a brother who lost his life in the line of duty today. Our entire community is mourning.
Alabama's Governor Kay Ivey also released a statement in regards to the shootings. She offers her deepest sympathies and prayers as everyone mourns the loss of one of the officers and as the other one fights for his life. She goes on to say she's praying for the killed officer's family, the Birmingham Police Department, and the doctors, nurses, and staff working to keep the injured officer alive, and that Alabama is standing behind them. She also says we must all remember the sacrifice law enforcement officers make each day. She thanks the officer who was killed for his sacrifice and says he'll always be remembered. Well, it's now time to get a first look at our weather with meteorologist Jacob Riley. Hey, Jacob, it's a little chilly out tonight.
Hey, Jory, that's right. It's chilly, and it's going to stay chilly for the next couple of days. At least we're currently sitting in the lower 40s and upper 30s out there. We've had those clouds around today. Those low clouds have helped keep us cold throughout the day on Sunday. They're going to stick around for Monday as well. Out there right now, we're sitting 41 Columbus, 38 Little Rock, and Memphis. Some of that colder air is going to work its way down to us as we go throughout the rest of the overnight hours. So as we start off your Monday, going to start off at 37, only get up to 46 by the afternoon hours. It's actually going to feel colder than that, though, because we're going to have some pretty gusty winds throughout the day tomorrow. By Wednesday, those highs are going to return to the 50s. Thursday, our rain chances do increase. I'll have more on that and some warmer temperatures coming up a little later in the show. Jory?
In Sullivan, Alabama, there is a boil water notice, but it's only for residents who have experienced an outage or low water pressure within the last 12 hours. The city's water department says due to a water pump failure at the Ogan Hill site, contaminants may be in the water system. Pump repairs have been made and bacterial testing is being done. For now, residents are advised to boil water prior to drinking, cooking, or brushing teeth. They'll be notified once the water is deemed safe. Well, the Mississippi Department of Transportation is helping to monitor an infectious deer disease. MDOT is now working with the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks. In the past year, the Wildlife Department has reported 6 cases of chronic wasting disease in the state. It's a brain degenerating disease that primarily affects deer. The Wildlife Department set a goal to sample 5,000 deer for the disease during the current hunting season. The department says since MDOT is responsible for removing roadkill from highways, it's the second best way to get samples from deer. To help out, MDOT workers move roadkill to the edge of the right-of-way and record the GPS location. After wildlife agents take a sample, the deer is left in place to prevent any potential transmission. In national news, the partial government shutdown that began December 22nd is already the longest in U.S. history, and there are still no signs of it ending anytime soon. Meg Oliver reports.
The partial government shutdown is now in its fourth week, but talks to end it have stalled. The sticking point remains the White House's demand for a wall along the southern border. In a series of tweets Sunday, the president described the wall as vital to national security, writing, "The damage done to our country from a badly broken border, drugs, crime, and so much that is bad is far greater than a shutdown, which the Dems can easily fix as soon as they come back to Washington." Senator Lindsey Graham suggested a short-term solution.
Open up the government for a short period of time, like 3 weeks, before he pulls the plug, see if we can get a deal. If we can at the end of 3 weeks, all bets are off. See if he can do it by himself through the emergency powers.
Meanwhile, the White House dismissed claims made in the Washington Post and the New York Times this weekend. The Post said Mr. Trump had gone to extraordinary lengths to hide details of his meetings with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The Post said the president even took his interpreter's notes.
Why is this President Trump's best buddy? I don't get it. It raises serious questions about the relationship between this president and Putin.
The Times said FBI Director James Comey's firing prompted the Bureau to investigate whether President Trump was acting on behalf of the Kremlin.
Are you now, or have you ever worked for Russia, Mr. President?
I think it's the most insulting thing I've ever been asked.
White House aides called those reports outrageous and silly. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
More than 800,000 federal employees missed their first paychecks Friday in the government shutdown. Restaurants in Silver Spring, Maryland gave free dinners to some of the people affected. Here's the very latest in Maryland.
Hi, how are y'all? Are you guys federal workers?
I'm a federal contractor.
Hundreds of federal workers in crisis, like Hillary Clark.
Like every day, you just don't know what to expect.
Gathered Friday night for a free meal from a comforting community in Silver Spring, Maryland, in the wake of a political firestorm impacting their very livelihoods.
People are unsure about when their next paycheck is going to come.
Use a napkin to wipe your face.
Clark is one of the many working for a federal agency who has been furloughed.
I'm a single parent to 3 kids who don't understand what this is all about, so it's been difficult. I'm the only income we have, so when there is no income, it's figuring out how to make ends meet.
The evening, organized by Councilman Tom Hucker, included entertainment and information about help struggling federal workers can apply for.
I'm Trevor Maxey Lloyd. I'm here with my family.
Mackesy Floyd, an engineer with NOAA, says he's getting by for now. But he and his wife Rachel are responsible for Noah, Claire, and Ethan, children too young to fully grasp the pressure their parents face.
And we should be okay this week. Next paycheck, if that one doesn't come in, not so sure.
So they scrimp, save, and sacrifice wherever they can.
I mean, they've probably heard 300 times in the last 3 weeks, no, we can't do that because I don't have any extra money.
For these civil servants, the hope and prayer is that their savings outlast a political battle with no clear end in sight.
I just keep hoping I'm going to wake up, the next day and somebody's going to have come to their senses and this is going to be over, but that doesn't seem to be happening.
This marks the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, and still with no end in sight. Coming up after the break, a Starkville teen chef now has his very own show. More on that after the break.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Jory Talley.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, one local teen is spicing things up a bit in the culinary arts world. Our Cash Matlock joins us in the studio with more. Cash?
Well, you may have heard of Starkville teen Mark Koblenz, and he's a 15-year-old self-taught chef who's been featured on shows like Chopped Jr. and Master Chef Jr. Well, he now has his own TV show on Mississippi Public Broadcasting, and it's called Making a Chef. Today, he stopped by the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience Building in downtown Meridian to give a cooking demonstration.
Dozens of people made their way into the new Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience Building in Meridian on Sunday to get a peek at teen chef Mark Koblenz's cooking demonstration.
We brought him here today because this weekend we opened the Jim Henson exhibition, Imagination Unlimited, and one of Jim Henson's most beloved characters, at least one of my favorites, is the Swedish chef, who is known for his antics in the kitchen. So to celebrate Jim Henson and the Swedish chef, we invited Mark to come here and cook Swedish meatballs.
Mark, or Mark the Chef as he's referred to on TV, says for him, this is more than a demonstration.
I mean, this is such an awesome experience, awesome place. I love just being able to here influence the community, reaching out because I live in Starkville and I come up to Meridian so often. It's just awesome to be able to have, roots down here, say I've done something, pretty impactful here.
Family members say they could tell early on that Mark had something special.
I actually would pick him up, sit him on the counter, and we'd make something together, monkey bread or something where he could do with his hands. Kind of went beyond that stage to doing it himself, with his own creativity.
And it seems that Mark the Chef is a hit with people of all ages.
So he's a really interesting, fun, engaging kid chef that I think children can really look up to who are exploring in the kitchen and doing things like that.
I'm just hoping to I can influence them to maybe start to see cooking in a different passion. Hey, a kid who's a little older than me is cooking, maybe I can do it.
And with big-time television shows like Chopped Jr., MasterChef Jr., and the first season of his own cooking show under his belt, it doesn't look like Mark is planning on slowing down anytime soon.
So for Making a Chef Season 2, we're going to do a whole lot more episodes. We're going to do 4 or 5 extra episodes, I believe. Awesome stuff like coffee, like learn where coffee comes from. We're doing so many awesome different things I can't wait to show.
Well, administrators at the Max in Meridian say they want to continue to showcase local talent like Mark the Chef in their upcoming season.
All right, thanks, Cash. Well, speaking of food, if you're needing something quick and easy to make for the kids during a busy work week, and you want it to be healthy too, we've got exactly that in tonight's Mom to Mom.
Today on Mom to Mom, we've got a great healthy weeknight recipe for you. All right, moms, I've got Chef Kate back with us. Girl,
it's a new year.
It's a new year, and Happy New Year. And everybody's got their New Year's resolutions. They want to eat healthier, feel healthier.
I've got the perfect
You've got
salad.
It for us today.
I do, and it's quick and easy, but it's also filling, so you're not going to feel deprived.
Let's do it.
Add your farro, water, and veggie stock to a pot over medium heat and boil for about 20 minutes. Once the farro is cooked, set it aside. Toast the nuts over medium heat in a dry skillet for 3 to 4 minutes, keeping a really close eye on them not to burn. Set aside. Use that same skillet to add your salmon, which has been seasoned with Celtic salt, and cook for about 4 to 5 minutes per side until your desired doneness. In the meantime, you're going to want to grate your carrot into a large bowl, add your cranberries, thinly slice the white part of the green onion, saving the greens for garnish, and add in the nuts. Add the spinach that you've roughly chopped and set aside. Whisk together the lemon zest and lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, Celtic salt and red pepper, and add the cooked farro in with the spinach in the bowl. Cover with the dressing and toss everything really well. Taste and adjust your seasonings. To plate it up, put the salad down first, top with salmon, garnish with your green onion, finish with some olive oil, and serve. Okay, so if you do your farro in advance, and I like to do it in a rice cooker, which makes it really simple, this whole meal comes together in like 10 minutes. While the salmon's cooking, you can assemble the salad.
Oh my goodness.
Perfect for a busy
That is
weeknight
everything.
meal. So I'm going to finish it off with a little olive oil, and let's dive in. Oh my gosh.
So good. All right, moms, for this recipe and more, connect with me on Facebook. I'll see y'all next week.
Mom to Mom is brought to you by Mom to Be on Wilkins Wise Road in Columbus.
Well, Monday's going to be downright cold. Highs are going to be in the 40s, but it's not going to feel like out of the 30s tomorrow. We're going to keep those clouds around as well. Coming up after the break, I'll let you know when more rain moves in and when those temperatures could warm up. Stick with us.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Jacob Riley.
Well, it was a cold Sunday out there. We kept those clouds around, and temperatures out there right now are still pretty cold. We're coming in at 41 Columbus, 41 West Point, 39 degrees there in Calhoun City. Those temperatures are only going to drop as we go throughout the rest of your night tonight. Here are those clouds I was talking about, still staying pretty locked into our area. Those are going to last as we go throughout the day on Monday as well. Tonight we will get pretty chilly, dropping down to 37 degrees. Keeping those clouds around. We're going to watch these winds getting pretty gusty, upwards to 12 miles an hour throughout the overnight hours. That's going to keep us feeling cool tonight. As we go throughout tomorrow, those winds are going to stick around out of the northwest as well. We're going to see those wind speeds between 10 and 15 miles an hour, with some gusts getting upwards of 20 miles an hour tomorrow. So it's not even going to feel like the 40s tomorrow. We will top out 45 Carthage, 45 Kosciuszko, 43 there in Eupora. Those winds are going to keep us feeling like the 30s all day long. So Mondays are already hard to get out of the bed for, but tomorrow's going to be even worse. We'll top out at 46 Fayetteville, 47 Reform, 45 degrees there as well in Vernon. We're going to keep those rain chances at 0 though for Monday, so just a cold, cloudy, windy day across the area. 45 Calhoun City, 43 Oxford, 44 degrees there in Pontotoc. So that cold weather is here to stick around for a little bit longer, and here's what it's going to feel like on Monday. Going to stay in the 30s all day through Monday. Looking here at 2 p.m. 34 Starkville, 38 Columbus. As we go into Monday night, too, those wind chills are only going to continue to drop, leaving us with a very cold night. Now, as we go into Tuesday, we will get to see some more sunshine work its way back into our area. That sunshine lasts through Wednesday, and we're going to see those temperatures begin to warm up as well. 50s there on Tuesday. As we go on into Wednesday, we're going to be getting into the upper 50s. Some of us will even flirt with the lower 60s there on Wednesday. We have even some more warmer weather coming a little later this week. But as we move on into Thursday, though, those clouds are going to build to our west, bringing in some more rain throughout the day on Thursday. Sunny for Friday, but then Saturday, we're going to see some heavy rainfall begin to move into our area, perhaps bringing us close to another inch of rainfall. After that pushes out, though, we're looking at some colder temperatures really begin to plunge down into our area on Sunday. So winter is headed back. We're going to be the 60s for Friday, Saturday, then Sunday. Look at this, temperatures dropping down. This one model is showing into the 20s throughout the day on Monday. So we're going to keep an eye on that for you, let you know if anything changes with it. But your 7-day forecast right now, Jory, is looking pretty wet as we go towards the weekend. Highs there in the 60s.
Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints look to dominate the reigning Super Bowl champs. See highlights next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
Well, it's the NFL playoffs, and everyone knows the drill. Lose and go home, or win and continue on. And the New Orleans Saints looking to stay alive against Nick Foles and the Eagles in an at-home battle earlier tonight. And things just got hot and heavy right from the first play from scrimmage. Drew Brees is picked off by Crayvon LeBlanc. A heck of a way to come out and show that you mean business, but you got to risk it for the biscuit in a game like this. No score on the board just yet. That was the case until Nick Foles completes a nice pass into the hands of Jordan Matthews. The Eagles get a 37-yard touchdown in the lead to go along with it. And then Nick Foles continuing to do his most, this time using his legs and a reach to get into the end zone for the touchdown there. The Eagles would lead by 2 TDs, 14-0. In the second quarter, now the Saints needing some momentum on 4th and 1. Taysom Hill takes the direct snap on the fake punt, picks up a nice first down, and the Saints would come back and capitalize on that with some more action. Drew Brees completes it to Keith Kirkwood, and the Saints get on the board with that touchdown. New Orleans able to close the gap a bit, 14-7. Second half now, Saints on 1st and goal. Brees finds Michael Thomas in the end zone. The pass is caught, and the Saints take its first lead of the game, 16-14. Lutz with the kick, but the extra point is not able to get through the uprights. New Orleans would still lead Philly 20-14. 2 minutes to go. Nick Foles looking for Jeffrey, but instead the ball finds Lattimore for the INT. That sealed the deal. The Saints survive yet another day, 20-14, the final. A great comeback win for New Orleans to stay alive, in large part thanks to the defense and 2 interceptions, but also because of big plays and big moments by quarterback Drew Brees. Here are Brees' stats for the win over Philly. Completed 28 of 38 of his passes for 301 yards, so 74% completion for today. Outdid Nick Foles by a landslide. Foles completed 58% of his passes. Got the 2 passing TDs, which were obviously huge in the win. Just the 1 INT. The only concerning thing was the 2 sacks, which is definitely something they're going to want to work on if they're going to vie for that Super Bowl title come next month. And speaking of the Super Bowl, besides the football and the commercials on game day, there's also always music. The concert performances have been announced as of today. The band Maroon 5 will be headlining the Super Bowl 53 halftime show. The band will also be performing along with Travis Scott and Big Boy. Only about a month out from the biggest football game of the year. You can catch all the action live on February 3rd here on CBS. Well, one Mississippi woman in the NFL is making history today. More on that coming up next in sports. Stick with us. Well, if it sounds like something is breaking, don't worry. It's just the sound of another glass ceiling shattering. And it's shattering all thanks to Sarah Thomas, who today became the first woman in history to ever officiate an NFL playoff game. Today, Thomas served as the down judge during the New England Patriots versus the LA Chargers divisional playoff game. Thomas, a native of Pascagoula, Mississippi, is also the first female in history to officiate at the college level as well. Also the first woman to officiate a bowl game. She's also officiated at NFL camps and practices, getting her start to her officiating career in 1996 for the Gulf Coast Football Association. She worked her first ever game at the high school level back in 1999. The Ole Miss women have had the odds stacked against them. A brand new team, a first-year head coach, and a low expectation for the season's success. It's been known as a rebuild year for the Rebels, which has been redefined as of today, in large part after the Rebels upset number 16 Kentucky on the road. Kentucky struggled without its leading scorer, Macy Morris, and Ole Miss was able to capitalize. A lot of defense in today's game. The Rebels had 6 blocks and 9 steals against the number 16 Wildcats. LaKara Salter leading the way for the Rebels on the offense as the point leader with 10 points. This marked the first win at Kentucky for the Rebels since 2007 and their first ranked SEC win since 2011 at number 23 Arkansas. That's it for sports. We'll have the last look at your forecast coming up after the break. Stick with us.
All right, Jory, I've got good news and bad news. The bad news is tomorrow we're going to feel like we're in the 30s all day. The good news is, though, by Friday we're going to see some sunshine and 60s, but that is going to come to an end Saturday as we see more rain and temperatures dropping back once again.
Sunshine and 60s, that's a dream right there. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Y'all have a great week.